Influential senators from both parties are calling for an independent investigation of Russian meddling in the U.S. election. It could set up a clash with President-elect Donald Trump over U.S. policy toward Russia. And with the Electoral College vote on Monday, a small group of Electoral College members have asked for an intelligence briefing prior to the vote that would certify the election. Despite agreement in the intelligence community that Russia intervened in the election specifically to support a Donald Trump victory, Trump is calling the reports ridiculous, and his team says it's an attempt to undermine his victory. In an interview with NPR News on Thursday, President Obama vowed to take action against Russia for the hack.
We need to take action, and we will.
John Hudak is an expert on campaigns and presidential power with the Brookings Institution. It's nice to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
So the CIA has used the words high confidence when it comes to the Russians hacking and hacking with the intention to help Donald Trump into the U.S. basically election system. What does it mean when the CIA says high confidence?
The CIA is very careful with the precise language that it uses both in briefings to the president and Congress and whenever it speaks publicly. High confidence means exactly what it sounds like. They are sure. This isn't a maybe. This isn't something that has a large margin of error. They reserve that terminology for when they have a tremendous amount of evidence pointing in one direction, and that direction is that the Russians hacked this election.
The incoming administration, Donald Trump himself, has dismissed sort of all of these stories. John Bolton, who's been an advisor for Donald Trump, has called it a false flag. And Jason Miller, who's a spokesperson for the Trump campaign, has said this is an attempt to delegitimize President-elect Trump's win. What do you make of those comments?
I think these comments are actually delegitimizing the importance of national security in this country. This is a classic case of politics rising above patriotism. If the allegations were that Russians helped Hillary Clinton in this election, you would bet that the RNC, that Donald Trump and others would be enraged by this action. But because there is a whisper of this happening to help Donald Trump, the approach is not, let's get to the bottom of this, let's figure it out. It's to dismiss it entirely, and that sets a very dangerous precedent in this country that I think most Americans don't want to set.
The RNC apparently has also been hacked, but that information hasn't been revealed. Where do you think and when do you think that shows itself? How would that be used, or maybe never?
It might never be used. Frankly, if the Russian government wanted to get all of the information that they possibly can, and that's their goal at all times, yeah, you hack everyone. But if you're trying to tank a candidacy, you release embarrassing details or embarrassing emails or documents only from the person who you are afraid of becoming president. And clearly, Vladimir Putin was terrified of the prospect of America electing its first woman president in Hillary Clinton. I think that says a heck of a lot more about Vladimir Putin than it does about the American electoral system, Hillary Clinton, or Donald Trump.
What's been the most surprising thing to come out of the hacks?
I think the most surprising thing has been just how obvious and blatant these hacks have been. There's evidence now that Putin had a direct hand in it. There's also evidence that the Russian government was communicating with the Trump campaign during the campaign itself. Those are a lot of dots that anyone can have an easy time connecting, and I think it casts a real shadow, not necessarily on the legitimacy of the presidential election, but I think on the legitimacy and the intentions of the president-elect himself.
John Hudak, thank you very much. We also asked Evan McMullin, a former CIA intelligence operative for more than a decade, to weigh in. He also ran for the presidency as an independent candidate.
There are so many things that Russia has done to influence our election this time around. They've got a cable network in the United States owned and funded by the Kremlin in Moscow that promotes Donald Trump, has promoted Donald Trump for the last year, while undermining Americans' faith in their democratic institutions. But Soledad, let me tell you, this is nothing new. This is exactly what the Russians do in Western Europe. They want to undermine democracy because they know that democracies, democratic governments in Europe and here in the United States, are united together against Russian expansion because Vladimir Putin would like to have them back. And we've seen what he's done in Ukraine over the past couple of years. It's part of a playbook that Russia has implemented in Europe and is now implementing here in the United States.